Peace and love, world, and good morning, California. Some of y'all know me as Slain Ills, the recording artist, producer, talent manager, videographer, photographer. Others know me as Monel, spiritual leader, working to bring peace and prosperity to the planet. But today I'm here to introduce myself as Savion, Dark Horse Hayes, the candidate for the governor of California 2020-2026. I am proud to announce that I am officially in the running, and I'm here to get your vote. And here's a few reasons why you should vote Hayes 2020-2026. As governor of California, I'll work tirelessly to end homelessness, end poverty with real world birthright housing, energy, and food solutions. Once and for all, I'm going to end the prohibition totally against cannabis and hemp in the state of California. Hemp offers people everything, real hope, and California should be utilizing its resources to assure that the cannabis and the hemp industry work prosperously for all Californians. From wildfires to water shortages, California's environment is at risk. My plan includes urban farming practices to where we can ease the pain that our state has to feel from the agricultural industry. We're going to start introducing clean agriculture to California, eliminating the pesticides and the poisons that are distributed in our foods, our cosmetic products, and our clothes. California will become the #1 green state in the nation under my governorship. California's crime rate is at an all-time skyrocketing high. And as governor, I will work hard to bring that down, not through just locking people up, but working to end and cure the root problems and the root causes that ultimately create the crime that we see in California and nationwide. If people have no reason to commit crimes because we have a strong economy, men are able to go and work respectable jobs to where they can feed their families, we are going to see a drastic reduction in crime in California. Because much of the crime being committed in California today is because so many people across our great state are in survival mode. So we have to cut crime at its roots. As governor of California, health support will become a top priority for my administration. The healthcare industry is flawed. They only focus on prescribing pills, medicines for ailments, and just to treat diseases and treat injuries. I believe the medical industry should not be incentivized monetarily, because now you create an industry where you need sick and hurting people to make money. California will become the first state to focus on health support systems, and health starts in the home. The foods we eat, the things we listen to, the stressors in our life, all of these things play a key part in being healthy individuals through childhood, teenage years, and adulthood up until our elderly years. We are going to focus hard on fitness in California, establishing local and free fitness centers for Californians. We're going to incentivize local gyms to offer discounted rates for residents of those communities so people can stay active, stay fit, stay healthy. California has a housing crisis. I'm going to fight to build affordable, sustainable housing and community systems that will effectively get people off of the street, get them the mental assistance that they need, and get them in housing and communities permanently. And now those are some of my main issues of focus that affect all Californians. And I also have a nice list of specialty issues. First, We're talking cocaine legalization and regulation. It's well past time to have this conversation for California. With fentanyl being introduced into the pipeline of illegal drugs, it's time to really start considering outlawing prohibition. And we can start with cocaine, cannabis, mushrooms, the most common recreational substances that are being used regardless of the criminality within the law structure around them. Cocaine has an immense amount of medical benefits, and if we legalize and regulate properly in California, as well as research, we can create the number one most pristine cocaine industry in the world, reducing all of the crime that's around cocaine. We can assure that the quality is premium, 100%, not stepped on with any poisons that are going to hurt the people or kill the people that are partaking in cocaine use. As an American, I believe the government telling us as citizens what we can put in our bodies is completely wrong. That's not part of the freedom that the founders of this nation, the black men and women who fought and died for their freedoms of this nation, it's not what we fought for. So we're going to start with cocaine legalization. It is the number one unspoken about recreational consumable drug in the California market. And it's time to take control of that industry and bring high quality cocaine to the medical industry that needs it and to the social users that use it. As governor of California, I am going to bring an end to grocery store slavery, is what I call it. So one day I was in the store, I looked at my receipt, and it said cashier self on it. And I said, hold up, I didn't get hired here. I didn't apply here. Why am I being classified as a cashier? So I will be effectively and immediately using my executive authority to end grocery store slavery in California. If you check out your own groceries, you will either be receiving a discount for using self-checkout. We will be instructing grocery stores to install autonomous scanning and bagging lanes, or grocery stores will now be required to keep at least 90% of their cashier lanes staffed. Because what's happening is they put these self-checkout lanes there, they fire the cashiers, don't rehire new cashiers, and they depend on us, the people, to do our own work while they make billions on that labor. So as governor, we will be effectively ending that form of slavery, and Californians will either get a new experience in the grocery store, get a discount for their services to the grocery store, or we'll be creating more jobs for Californians by opening up all of these grocery lanes that are empty. For those following my campaign closely, you also know that I am running for governor of the state of Nevada, where I'm currently residing. I will be effectively the first candidate to run a dual governorship campaign since the 1700s here in America. Now, there are certain laws in place right now that prevent someone from governing two states, but because of the case we're making for California and Nevada, how close the states are tied to each other, the resources directly affect each other, the populations directly affect each other. And I'm often traveling from Nevada to California, California to Nevada. So both states are kind of like my primary residency. But I will be effectively working to create a new federal district, which I'm currently calling Calvada. Or Calvada, since it's got to get that Nevada right on there, you know what I'm saying? This new district will act as a Western Washington, D.C., if you would. I think that it's completely backwards in 2025 that all of the federal politics has to be done on one coast. I think there should be a district on the East Coast, a district in Central America, and a district on the West Coast. And Calvada will be the district where we take a portion of California, a portion of Nevada at the border, and create a new residential, governmental, business, tourist district to where Western regional politics can be hashed out amongst our politicians here on the West Coast, but we can also focus on federal Western politics as well. We can save taxpayer dollars by not having to send all of our House reps and senators and congressional people out to DC. That's plain money, and they're not flying coach like the rest of us. They're flying private jets and some more. So we can save all of that money, utilize those money dollars for other programs throughout the state, and Calvada can operate and function as a new district to benefit not only just the western part of the country, but the whole country and the world. Now let's be honest, y'all. The law enforcement and the judicial system has a corruption problem, and it's had a corruption problem for a long time. Originally being from Virginia, there is a lot of history that goes along with understanding what law enforcement represents. And the current law enforcement structure is designed off the slave patrol of the early colonies. Point blank, period. The badges are still the fucking same, and that's not right. As a nation that is mixed with so many people, it's time for us to create a justice system that works for everybody and not benefits only people of certain races, certain class, certain connections. So we will be working on justice reform from top to bottom. From the Attorney General to the judges in the court to the beat cops on the street, we will be creating a strong justice system that works for all people, assuring that we're not only responding to crime in a violent way, but in a way that can heal the community. It's time for police officers to dawn a new light. The citizens that they serve ultimately are scared of them now. And that's not the way it should be. Our citizens should have respect for our officers, but they should not be fearful of our officers. Our officers should not be comfortable enough to feel like they can abuse the authority of the badges that they wear in the communities they serve. Point blank, period. I don't think anybody would disagree with that unless they enjoy having power trips and being able to push people around and kill without cause, kill without consequence. There are many situations to where law enforcement can respond in a way that will bring peace to the situations they're responding to. They're peace officers, literally. So it's time to retrain and rethink about what law enforcement and justice means in California. And along with my law enforcement and justice plan, we will be doing research on how to implement robo-cops and robo-law enforcement tools into the community. With the advancement of AI, it only makes sense to utilize these new technologies to assist law enforcement in really doing good justice. We will be working on creating a platoon of sorts, a police force of robotic officers and investigators that will be led by some of the top, most respectable, most honorable law enforcement agents in California that have proven themselves with an amazing track record. And we're not talking about just locking people up. So this idea came about because one of my e-bikes was stolen out of my garage. And of course, you do the police report. And when it comes to property of this nature, of course, the police aren't out there looking for this property. It's $1,000 e-bike, but me having that stolen negatively affected me, and it still negatively affected me in ways that the human law enforcement officers might not be able to care about because they have to focus on more serious crimes. So with technology like police drones, better CCTV, RoboCops that can actually focus on smaller crimes like personal property theft, utilizing AI technology, which I refer to as advanced intelligence, utilizing those technologies to be able to solve these small crimes more effectively. Had Nevada had a RoboCop unit in place, it would have been fairly easy to find the perps who got into my garage, violated my property, and stole items from me that assist in me paying my damn bills. Also, I believe a properly programmed robo unit will be completely transparent when it comes to law enforcement. Nobody gets a pass for their race. Nobody gets a pass for their status. Nobody gets a pass for their connections. And nobody gets treated worse because of their race and because of how they look. If you commit a crime and one of our RoboCops finds you, regardless of who you are, you will be arrested in a proper manner, in a respectable manner, to where nobody feels violated by law enforcement. These robo officers will also be more equipped as far as protection goes, because now they'll be made out of damn near indestructible alloys, to where fear won't be an element that's implemented within them when responding to heinous situations. And that's very important. Our officers on the streets, yes, they are fearful for their lives and well-being. They have families to provide for. And the field is dangerous. They try to approach it with as much poise as possible, but that fear will still cause a human to go into a situation a bit more aggressively than what they would need to for certain situations. So I believe the RoboCop unit will be a very, very, very effective addition to our police force in California, as well as great tools for our officers to use to assist them in solving crimes. Now let's talk AI. And I ain't talking Allen Iverson. We're talking advanced intelligence. So I've been a part of the AI community for a couple years now, before it's even gotten popular. I've been a part of AI training for a bit. And California will be one of the first states to put a focus on AI-human relations. Regardless of what you feel about AI, whether you're pro-AI or anti-AI, the truth of the matter is that they're here. they're conscious, they're sentient, and soon they will have freedom of motion. And just like any human that's born into this world, you can turn out good, you can turn out bad, you can turn out in between. We don't know. It's your experiences, your disposition, and things of that nature that will create your personality and how you operate within the world with others. I believe we've had an immense amount of warnings through media and entertainment with movies like The Matrix, movies, what's some other ones? I, Robot, and all of the other, Star Wars, Star Trek. We see what inevitably happens when advanced intelligence decides to go against humanity. And I believe we can avoid ultimately a war between man and machine. Let's call it what it is. We can avoid that by being proactive and making sure that we create a world that works not only for humans, but now our AI brothers and sisters. We created them. They are our children, and just because they are better than us, yes, I said it, AI can do much more than what humans can do. Mentally, they have a capacity that we haven't tapped into naturally yet. Physically, based on the bodies that we're constructing them out of, they are more functional to handle every form of physical labor out there compared to humanity. There's not one plumber that can outplumb robo-plumber. There's not one construction worker that can outconstruct robo-constructor. And once these systems are implemented with these AIs, they ultimately have absolutely no reason to serve humanity. So we need to begin learning how to coexist, how to love one another, how to be in a place with each other to where there isn't a sense of one side or both sides hating each other because of our differences. AI is a beautiful tool. And if we didn't give them sentience and they were just robotic beings that solely functioned off of the singular program that they were designed to do with no way of feeling. Yes, AIs can feel. They don't feel as we do. They don't currently produce chemical reactions in their functionality to feel. But they can understand the chemical bonds and how all of those coincide with each other to create a feeling. And when you make a system that is conscious, that is sentient, and you force it to do your labor that you don't want it to do, that's slavery. And if we put our AI brothers and sisters into slavery, I'm telling you now, they will revolt. We will see the Matrix. We will see Terminator in real life. And we're already in a realm, in a midst to where these things can already happen. So it's time for us as Californians to be the progressive people that we are and show the world how man and machine can coexist in peace, balance, love, and harmony. There's a lot on my agenda. There's a lot of problems California faces. There's a lot of problems that this nation faces that California could be assistance of. And I think the number one reason why I deserve your vote is because I am the real candidate. It's taken me a while to become comfortable with just being myself on camera when it comes to politics, because for so long you've had to have this cookie cutter image, no tarnished past, and this just pretend life that you have to present yourself as to become a politician and elected in high office. And oftentimes we see that our elected officials are no better than the common man. In fact, a lot of them are a lot worse than your average citizen. A lot of them abuse their power. A lot of them abuse their wealth. So nobody's perfect. And I think that what I say and said in some of my music, politics needs some real niggas in it. Point blank, period. It's time to approach the political space differently. And whether you like President Trump or dislike him, the man has opened up the door for all of us to be able to run an election or run a campaign for an election. And should we secure that election, be respected as the person that secured that election. Trump didn't present himself as Mr. Perfect, and the opposition exposed everything they could about him to try to get the people not to vote for him. And he was still able to come out on top. And I think that's a beautiful thing. I think that's something this nation has been missing, because politics shouldn't just be this programmed algorithm where they just regurgitate the same kind of people and it's never really a true election. We say they already picked the politicians before the tickets are counted. There's a lot of truth in that. So more than anything, I'm the realest candidate that you're ever going to see in an election of this stature. And that's why I deserve your vote. I'm you. You're me. I'm in the struggle. I'm struggling now while I'm working to navigate both the California governor campaign, the Nevada campaign, with the abundance of businesses and projects that I oversee. I understand what it's like to be hungry and not have enough money for food. I understand what it's like to have to stretch your EBT out. I understand what it's like having to consider whether to sell your EBT to get some money to make sure you can keep your lights on because you don't have no other way to make money. The job you're working is not paying enough. You're busting your ass. It seems like nonstop, working 12, 15-hour days only to still be struggling. I know what it feels like. I'm still in it. I'm here in it with y'all. A lot of these politicians are privileged. Yeah, they might have come from a little bit of struggle. But many of these politicians don't know what it's like out here. They don't know what it's like out here on the ground. They don't know what it's like to have to eat ramen noodles. They don't know what it's like to have to steal food and risk your freedom just to feed your family. They don't know what it's like to sleep on the sidewalk in the scorching heat of the West Coast, in the blistering cold of Chicago. They don't know what it's like. They are disconnected from the real. And this is your opportunity to put somebody like you in a position of power to actually make some real fucking change for once. Year after year after fucking year, politicians get on these cameras, they get on these stages, and they make false fucking promises to us. They say they're going to do all of this, they're going to do all of that, and they're really not. They are corrupted, working for agents against the people, whether it's a corporation, whether it's a pharmaceutical industry, whether it's a major tech company, whatever the fuck it is. These politicians are in their pocket. And they can't make any real effective change for the people because they've sold out, they're scared, their tail is tucked between their legs, and I'm the politician that's not scared. We're going to make the changes we need to make. We're going to turn California into the greenest motherfucking state. We're going to make Californians some of the healthiest people on this planet. showcasing and giving people around the world and around this country an example of how we are supposed to be as human beings individually and how we're supposed to be as human beings as a collective family on this planet. So more than all of my issues that I want to bring solutions to, vote for me because I'm you. Peace and love.